Who has the conflict today?
Who's on third? No, this is not the shoot. This is the little, you could stay here.
Okay,
That's only an open session.
okay, everything is on. Okay.
Closer to us.
May 19th, 2017.
I think my voice projects.
Sound good?
Adequate notice of this meeting was given in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act by mailing the schedule of the Township Committee to the express times and notice of like a newspaper, posting a copy on the Township Bulletin Board, and filing a copy with the Township Clerk. Roll call: Adams.
Here.
Kenya.
Here.
Marqueta.
Here.
Varsity.
Here.
Spencer.
Yeah. Make a motion to go into executive session.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Regarding police chief versus Greenwich Township, Kale versus Greenwich Township, Hal versus Greenwich Township, sewer updates,
The sewer update is Greenwich Township versus Town of Phillipsburg.
Greenwich Township versus Town of Phillipsburg. Personnel is police department deputy police chief and township clerk executive session minutes
I hear an echo.
2015.
Coming off of that.
That's okay?
Yeah, I hear
And
it. Big
open
echo.
space update.
Okay. Open space update.
Okay. Roll call: Adams.
Yes.
Kenya.
Yes.
Marqueta.
Yes.
Varsity.
Yes.
Spencer.
Yes.
It's a shame. I still can't get away from the paper. The physical, the physical.
I'd rather have.
It's not worth it, but they want us going. I'll still pay for it. I don't know what it is, you know, it's the portability of that stuff. Motion.
Second.
You want to take a decision?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Discussion?
There was no action.
Regular meeting of the Greenwich Township Committee, May 19, 2016. Members present: Adams.
Here.
Kenya.
Here.
Marqueta.
Here.
Varsity.
Here.
Spencer.
Okay.
All rise for the flag salute.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public comment? Everybody settled? Sorry for the delay. Need motion to open up the public comment section of the meeting tonight.
I'll second the motion. Bob made the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Each member of the public shall have 3 minutes to ensure completion of the agenda item in a timely fashion. Anybody wish to make a public comment?
Is this the only public comment on the agenda?
I believe there's 2.
I didn't see a second.
We can add it at the end.
Yeah. Any public comment? Going once? Make a motion to close public comment?
Motion.
Second.
Aye.
Payment of bills? Kathleen? Brent wants to his bill at this time,
Okay,
and
the one,
table he's going to report to the 1485.
okay.
Just to give you a heads up on that.
So with that bill, the total would have been $2,219,476.93, but we'll pull that one bill.
Motion to, payment of the bills with the exemption of Mr. Carney's bill. Right.
I'll make a motion for payment of the bills as stated.
Second.
Adams?
Abstain?
Kelly?
Yes.
Marson?
Yes.
Danielle?
Yes.
Spencer?
Yes.
Can we ask Kathleen now about the safe and secure grants? Or do you want to just...
If it's a quick answer, she might not
What's
even
the
know.
status? Have you looked into our safe and secure grants over the last couple of years?
Yeah, they weren't filed for 13, 14, 15, and going forward, we're doing 16. We're getting, we're filing them all, this month, and should be getting 30,000 for each year that wasn't filed.
Was there any notation in there why it wasn't filed?
I don't know.
Don't know.
And then money pays the salary,
Nope, I would just review my email, they didn't get 13.
and that money's used to pay.
But an office, a portion of an officer's salary.
So what, we're going to get 3 years worth? 14,
Yeah, I
15,
talked to
16?
John about it. That money has to go back into miscellaneous revenue because it should have been spent technically in the year that it was given.
Mhm.
But that's still good. You're still
Mhm.
bringing it into surplus.
How much impacts us for 2016?
We'll get 30,000.
That's it, total?
That's it.
Not 30, 60, 90?
No,
That
no.
will roll forward?
The back years have to go into miscellaneous revenue.
Into those years?
Yeah,
It's
yes.
a prior year refund.
A prior year refund, and can
The
we roll that
30,000 for
into...
16 I can use actually against Sean, I think his name's Sean McLaughlin, his salary this year in 16.
He's the officer under the grant.
Yes.
Can we do something to roll 13, 14, and 15 in?
Those are spent in prior year budgets.
Oh, those monies were spent?
Yes.
Unfortunately, out of your normal budget, when it could have been charged to a grant.
Mhm.
So 14, 15, and 16. 13, why didn't we get 13? Just,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Same CFO.
She wasn't here.
But we applied, she just came in last year.
Yeah.
We
Getting
applied for,
13, 14, 15.
we're getting 13, 14, what about 16?
Yeah, we're doing that too.
So that's 4 years,
Yeah.
so about 120 will go
Yes.
into this year.
Yep,
Okay.
90 is a
90,
prior
yeah.
year refund.
Right,
30 can go towards an appropriation refund in your current year budget.
okay.
So, or you can, if it's set up as a grant, you could charge salaries against that 30 this year. But only the 30, the 120 for the prior 3 years, those budgets are done.
Right,
So that goes in as miscellaneous revenue, helps your fund balance going forward. Think of it like that.
okay.
Good.
I'm good?
Yeah. Approval of minutes. Everybody read the minutes? Any questions on the minutes? Okay. Need a motion to approve the minutes for the March 17th and April 21st regular meeting, and March 17th, 2016, and April 21st, 2016 executive session. Minutes.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion, can we release the executive session minutes for April? Make available for public consumption? Okay, all right, no, I'm fine, yeah. Yes.
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 And
Resolution.
executive minutes are always reviewed by the attorney for
Thank you.
Tab 2.
Resolution 2016-48, correct? Resolution authorizing redemption of tax liens.
I'll make a motion for the amounts that are listed. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 10 different liens.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Adams?
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes.
Marqueta?
Yes.
Marson?
Yes.
President?
Yes. 2016-49. Resolution 2016-49, deferred local district school tax. Motion.
Can I explain that again real quick for everybody?
You are allowed to defer up to half of the school tax school tax levy in any given year. Why the state allows you to do that is because you're on a different year cycle from them. So your year goes from January 1st to December 31st. Theirs is July 1st to June 30th. Okay, so because you lapse over and cross over that year, by the end of your year, you have a huge payable due to the school district, which is half of the levy, because you still have to pay them for the next 6 months. The state says, rather than carrying that as an accounts payable, we'll let you defer that school tax. And when you defer the school tax, you still owe the school the money, you still have to make the payments. The only thing it does is it takes it off of your accounts payable, which increases your surplus. So you reduce the liability, increase your owner's equity, your fund balance. When we got into budget discussions, we were going to take $250,000 out to do roads, and we were taking another $100,000 to offset some tax relief and more fund balance. We would be increasing it by $350,000 this year. You still have a long way to go before you're deferred up to the half of the school tax levy. So whenever you defer school tax, you just have to do it by resolution, and that's the resolution you have before you.
Now, I had asked this question to Kathleen. Me and Bob were confused a little bit. The $100,000 that we used out of that to defer or to help out the tax increase.
Correct.
So that's an expenditure that we took care of by taking $100,000 from the deferred school tax. We don't start next year $100,000 in the hole. That's
No.
that expenditure's taken out every year to handle that.
You
Right?
have to see where you're going to come in next year. We don't have a crystal ball to know where your fund balance is going to be. Your fund balance drops significant for whatever reason, you might have to increase the deferred school tax to get it back up to where you want to use in the budget. But right now, one of the things we just said was you're getting $90,000 back in miscellaneous revenue. So that replenishes surplus. All right, so if everything else stays the same,
So that was my question. If everything stayed the same, we start off next year's budget, that $100,000 in the hole. Let's say everything stays the same.
depends on where everything stays the same.
You would have to expend your entire budget again.
Yeah.
I really don't see that happening.
It's hard to say if everything stays the same because of this budget, 2016's budget, we don't know how much is going to get carried into the next year and then lapse back into fund balance. Difficult to say. You were in a very lean year last year, so it's going to be tougher naturally going forward. I anticipate another rough year before it starts to really get better, but there's other options, that we can discuss going forward. Does it start you $100,000 in the hole? I don't want to say yes because there's so many unknowns. So, the only one thing that happens with this is that you don't see the school district taxes coming down. The increase to your local school tax this year more than covered that $100,000. So if you have the same increase in the school tax next year, you can defer another $200,000, but because that's going to be half of the levy. So what you can defer will be actually more than you deferred this year. So that's why it's difficult to say that we'll be in a hole or not, because you're actually going to grow the deferral. You could potentially grow the deferral another $200,000 because it goes up 2% each year,
Mm-hmm.
and you only used $100,000 of that. So you're probably gonna be, for lack of better terms, in a better spot as far as your deferral goes going into.
Okay. Thank you. So I got a question.
Sure.
You're saying, all right, help me understand.
No.
The 250 for the capital projects, I'm behind. You know, I understand that. That makes sense to me. We're investing in capital infrastructure and assets that are going to last more than 15, 20 years, whatever it may be, okay? And I think we had this discussion in one of the prior meetings, and I think my issue with this is covering the expenses. So we're doing 100K to cover expenses. So he's saying 90 is coming back in. Does that take away from the 100? I mean, could we go into this with just 10?
I was just using it as an example, like, you don't know where you're gonna wind up at the end of the year. What we're saying now with the safe and secure money coming in, you just got 90,000 in, and he's asking me if we're gonna start in 100,000 hole. And because that money just came in, you're now just about equal to where that's why there's no, crystal ball that I can look at and say all things are gonna stay equal, and you're gonna be in a hole or you're not gonna be in a hole. With you using it, you have so far to go with your deferred school tax, that if you had to increase it another 100,000 next year, you're still gonna be okay. You're still a long way off from bringing it up to half of the levy. Let me just give you the numbers so that you can understand where you're at. And again, we're gonna, the plan is this year to take 250 out and do roads, and do that for the next 6 years, 5 years?
Oh.
5, well,
Yeah,
that's
if
what
we
the
don't start,
plan
we'll keep pushing it down.
Okay. Your school
6
tax
years.
payable was 3.4 million at the end of this year. Your deferral was 1.7 million. Those two combined is what you could defer up to. So you really had $3.4 million that you could still defer. Of that 3.4 million, you're deferring 350,000 this year. School tax is going to go up another 2%, so next year your deferral could potentially go up another $200,000. So that deferral number that you could defer up to half the levy, that's going to keep rising, and you used 350 this year. Of it, of 100,000, I know we could kick that number around to offset taxes, so it's 100,000 out of 3.4 million. If you took it for the next 34 years, you'd still be all right, because the school district taxes are still going to keep going up. And if they go up at a rate where you can defer an additional 200,000 each year, and you only took 100,000 out, you can do the 200,000 plus the 3.4 million. So you have a lot of cushion. You're in a lot better shape with this than all of your neighbors combined. I just want to let you know you're sitting in a good, and the reason the state does that, and they want you to take that deferral up to half so that you use more fund balance year after year. I think you're in a great position as it is, in my opinion. I've never seen a town in this kind of position. I have towns where we have to raise it to 50% just to get enough fund balance to balance the budget, just that to keep it consistent with what they did last year. So that's just my 2 cents, but you vote on this.
No, you're speaking my language. It's interesting because you see how conservative people are financially, and when you apply that to the townships, that rigor isn't there anymore. And we're one of the few townships, I don't know, but I believe in the state of New Jersey, that are doing very well. My issue with this is that we have 2 things in one resolution, and I'm a firm believer of using this concept for capital goods, for capital purchases, and I'd ask if we could split this into 2 different resolutions, one for those infrastructure type capital projects, and I'm not thinking for us. This is, I'm done. So it's for the future committees that are here, so when they see these things next year, I'm assuming that's going to happen, right? They see a differentiation and they stop and they think about it.
I've never been asked to split it before. I don't know if you can, you can't. It's a resolution. Could you do it? No.
Jim, is it really,
You know
they
what
really
we're
want to
using
split
it
just
for.
so you can vote no to the part for 100,000? Is that where we're headed here?
What-
Because if you are, why don't you just put it on the record, then and we
Well,
save the time.
well, you know, I'm going to vote no for it because the 100 is in there and it's
I
expensive
know, it's pretty
versus
clear what
capital.
you're gonna do, but
Yeah.
rather than waste
Yeah.
time, let's just.
Well, I'd like to vote yes for something.
Put your objections on the record that you're voting no to that portion of it, or whatever, but.
Right. All right. There we go.
It's up to you. I'm good. Thank
Now,
you.
Jim, but you not wanting the 100,000 to go in there, then what would you want to do to offset that 100,000? What was your plan?
The 90. The 90 that I'm hearing.
Can't use it.
Can't use it.
Can't you, oh, you can't use it
That
now.
would go
Oh, that's why I was saying.
That would go into surplus for 2016. At the end of 16, it would be sitting in surplus.
But then we could use it to offset.
Then you can
Next year.
use it, if your fund balance goes up, then you don't have to take 100,000 out of,
It's reduction of spend. So, you know, if you've gone through all of the spend items,
So you want
On
to
the
cut
budget.
100, you have recommendations to cut 100,000 more?
tonight I do not, no.
All right, well, you
You can vote no to the whole thing. Let's just go through it. Let's do the vote.
Resolution 2016-49, deferred local district school tax. Motion,
I'll make the motion. Second.
discussion, roll call.
Adams?
I'm okay with the capital portion of 250,000, but not okay with the 100,000 in expense, and that's why I'm voting no. Yes.
Marqueta?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Spencer?
Yes. Ordinance 2016-03, a motion to introduce the ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriations limit and to establish a cap bank. Motion?
Can I get an explanation on that, also?
absolutely.
Good thing you're here.
That's why I'm here.
I just want to go,
The COLA ordinance effectively does two things.
This is the COLA ordinance.
This is the
The
COLA
COLA
ordinance.
I know everything I need to know.
Okay. One, it increases your inside the cap
Yep.
expenditure increase from 0% that the state will allow you to do to 3.5%, which they'll allow you to do through this ordinance. Second thing it allows for, it enables you to do what's called cap banking. What cap banking is, really simply, this year, you were allowed to have a budget of $3.3 million. You came in with your budget of 3.46 million. You came in at 3.32 million. So you're not raising $24,000 that you could have raised this year. You decided we're not going to do that, we're not going to go up to the maximum. So that $24,000, you don't raise it, nobody pays it in taxes, it's not a literal bank account, it's just this thing called a cap bank. And that money sits in the cap bank, so that next year when you do your budget, if you have any kind of hardship, or if there's anything that you need to improve upon with the municipality, you have a $24,000 cushion that you can add to your budget next year. If you don't use it next year, carries forward to the next year. If you don't use it by then, it falls off. This does not authorize any spending. This does not cost you a nickel to do. It just enables you to do what's called cap banking, and it also increases your inside the cap by the 3.5%. Without this ordinance, the introduction of the budget couldn't happen because you would be over the cap limit at that point.
There we go.
Has no effect on this year's budget. This is,
Well, it does, because it took last year's inside the cap number and it added 3.5% to it. If you didn't do this, then you'd have to go back to last year's funding limit, and at the amount that it's funded at now, you'd be over the cap.
Sure.
And your budget would be illegal and you couldn't introduce it.
No? We have a motion? Motion for the, ordinance 2016-03, I'm sorry. We need a motion for the first reading? Motion for introduction.
I'll make that motion.
No second. Commissioner, roll call?
Adams?
No.
Kenya?
Yes.
Marqueta?
Yes.
Parsons?
Yes.
Spencer?
Yes.
The school district this year used a little bit of a cap bank.
Yes, they have their own cap bank.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's why I wasn't willing to go for more than a 2%. What else you left there, Brian?
Okay. Motion to introduce first reading introduction of the 2016 municipal budget. The public hearing on the municipal budget is scheduled for the June 16th committee meeting. So at this time, we'll do a motion to introduce the 2016 budget.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Is there a budget, do we have the budget in front of us? No. Do we have the physical budget?
I delivered the box to Kathleen earlier tonight, so they're in Kathleen's office.
Roll call?
Adams?
And this is for the introduction?
Introduction.
No.
Kenya?
Yes.
Marqueta?
Yes.
Parsons?
Yes.
Spencer?
Yes. Motion to authorize sewer utility operating fund projection from 12/31/2016 to 12/31/2019. Proposal from the Township Auditor. Who are we authorizing?
What page?
Right.
What page are we on? Right behind page 2.
4?
That's not important.
This one's tab 9, but it's right before tab 10, so the last 2 pages before tab 10. So we put together the proposal, and the expected cost for this is a range of $3,500 to $6,500, which is one of the sewer utilities, correct, Kathleen?
Yes.
Something that should be requested to put together the proposal.
So this is to pay your salary? Right?
This is an additional item that we would do, a sewer rate study. At the
That's
sewer-
what it is, okay, yeah. Yep, okay, just want to
You
confirm.
asked me to put one
Yes.
together, and it's before you.
Yep,
We need a motion to authorize.
I'll,
And there's a voucher.
I'll make the motion to authorize.
Second. Okay, you got it.
Discussion?
Yeah, I had a question. So, I know two things are in my mind. One is the litigation that we discussed with Brent earlier on, which I believe is going to shed a whole lot of light on our rate for the future. And the second is, in the past, we've always had our pseudo sewer engineer, Joe Pryor, all right, who's currently now a member of the PACON Council. He would look into those, correct me if I'm wrong, Michael, but there was, he was doing that.
He
What
would
was-
sit with the CFO, and he would work up the budget
Yeah, oh, okay.
and examine all of that, exactly. Now, Dan Madden, who is Joe's successor,
New Joe.
new Joe, yeah, right, young Joe.
Younger.
However you like to refer to Dan.
New and improved.
Has thrown out, we've had some discussions with him. When I say we, the sewer subcommittee with Frank and Bob, which also sit on, talking about how much emergency funding amount should remain in the budget. That's a big component of the development of the sewer budget. You want to keep $50,000 in there? Or do you want to keep $1 million in there to offset a potential catastrophe or some capital expense, sewer related? So, but this is obviously something different for Mr. Mooney.
Okay. Yeah, I just don't think it's necessary at this point, would be my opinion.
Okay. Roll call?
Adams?
No.
Kenya?
Yes.
Marqueta?
Yes.
Marson?
Yes.
Spencer?
Yes.
Thank you, John.
Have a good night.
Thank you, John. Have a good night.
Kathy, I don't have anything.
No, I got nothing here for you, Jeff. I need it.
You to go?
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Are you?
Have a good night.
For a little
Are you
bit.
in the room? Okay.
Why you need me?
Well, no, I think actually, I have a couple of Kathleen items, but I think she's actually already answered the questions.
You sure?
Well, yeah, about the DPW truck,
We're good?
the
Open
capital,
space
the
is
open
good.
space. So, yeah, no, I think we've already covered all.
Truck is insurance coverage?
Yes. We did the resolution to include that in this budget. In fact, I'll put the box of budgets out on the, so, yeah, everybody can grab a copy before they go tonight.
Good to go? Thank you very much. DPW update, memo from, Mr. Mexi, couldn't be here. Removal of the trucks and equipment, received a call Wednesday, May 18th, and today, May 19th, to begin removal within the next few days. All the trucks are gonna be removed from the property finally. Building release, so we can begin demolition, he requested an official letter or release approval, approving the demolition of the building. 67,000.
167,062 is,
Cost of new one? That's cost.
that's what we're gonna get from the insurance company,
Okay,
rebuild.
all right,
And that's broke out in the, attachments.
right.
That's the replacement.
What about the content?
The contents of it.
Okay. Have we received anything for that? Any breakdown?
Yeah, well, they have on here, I'm sorry, they do this, listed, well, they have.
He's got value in replacement of the DPW equipment and trucks, cash value compared to replacement.
They're like saying 11,000 for 21 demo,
Right.
and 130 for 17 plus the labor, so it's 167, 152, 45, and the replacement, appreciated value of 17. So this is only, for the building itself. The other things, the equipment that was in there as well, various other things, that's separate and apart.
Phase one.
There's no action needed on it.
Yeah.
It's just an FYI.
Just a sample. Need a motion to accept the report? Nope. Awarding of the dump truck, motion to award the, new dump truck for the town, road department. The, new dump truck is $155,784, and update is, in the establishment that won the award. So I'm going to make a motion to award the contract.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Mike, how many people put a bid in for it?
There were 2 bids picked up, but only 1 bid submitted, which was Updike's. So, and they were spot on, technically complying with every requirement we asked for with the truck.
Sounds good. Discussion, roll call.
Adams?
Yes.
Kenya?
Yes.
Marqueta?
Yes.
Marson?
Yes.
Spencer?
Yes. Monthly report. Make a motion to, road department's monthly report. Right?
You made the motion?
Yeah.
I'll second.
Discussion, roll call.
Adams?
Yes.
Kenya?
Yes.
Marqueta?
Yes.
Marson?
Yes.
Spencer?
Yes. Yeah, it's getting on, done.
Okay. I make a motion that we accept the police department monthly report for, April.
Second?
Discussion, roll call.
Adams?
Yes.
Kenya?
Yes.
Marqueta?
Yes.
Marson?
Yes.
Spencer?
Yes.
I also make a motion that we accept a new member as a junior firefighter for the fire department, and the recommendation of the chief of the fire company. Individual's name is Thomas Di Giovanni, 16 years old, should be commended, getting involved with the fire department at a young age, so I make the motion.
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Adams?
Yes.
Kenya?
Yes.
Marqueta?
Yes.
Marson?
Yes.
Spencer?
Yes.
Make a motion that we accept grant membership to Robert Shackelford to the emergency squad, on recommendation of the squad as a new member.
Motion.
I made the motion.
Second. Discussion, roll call.
Adams?
Yes.
Kenya?
Yes.
Marqueta?
Yes.
Marson?
Yes.
Spencer?
Yes.
And I'm done.
All right. Oh, the only thing I have, Environmental Committee would like to have a Facebook page, so I'm going to make a motion to authorize them to have a Facebook page, and Kim, you can coordinate that with our IT person.
Has to be done in compliance with our policy.
And-
Yeah.
and-
Yeah.
and I have something that you want to-
Okay.
Good to go. You made a motion?
I made a motion.
Second. Discussion, roll call.
Adams?
Yes.
Kenya?
Yes.
Marqueta?
Yes.
Marson?
Yes.
Spencer?
Yes.
I have Mark Caswell, I'll make a motion for Mark Caswell to be an alternate on the Recreation Commission. Caswell, C-A-S-W-E-L-L. E-L-L, Caswell. Alternate on the Rec Commission.
Second.
Adams?
Came up through rec.
Yes, this came through Rec. Yeah, this was, Mark Porticari requested this. Yes.
Kenya?
Yes.
Marqueta?
Yes.
Marson?
Yes.
Spencer?
Yes.
The only other thing is the Memorial Day Parade, which is the 30th, I believe. And, Will, you need to do the welcome and introduction. Thank you very much. Okay. I don't have, Kim, we didn't get the court report, did we? I didn't see the,
I didn't see it.
yeah.
We didn't have
So we'll have 2 next month.
All right. Good, so.
That's nothing from the store. I'm done.
Okay, Open Space Municipal Park, I just want to once again thank the town committee for unanimously voting for that park. I can tell you I've, since being a member of the town committee in the past, and currently being a member, I've never seen such an outpouring of happiness over the park. A lot of our members on the Open Space Committee have been contacted by a lot of residents. I've been contacted. I also want to thank the Express Times for doing a nice article on the park. So, thank you to everybody. So the next step in the park is to give it a name. So, because we like to put up a sign, future location of. So the 2 previous open space committees came up with the name of naming it after the namesake of Stewartsville, which would be Thomas Stewart, calling it Thomas Stewart Park. To me, that makes sense. He was the Secretary of George Washington. He was the original owner of that land, we found out, even before the family who sold it to the township. So we just think he's probably the most famous historical figure that the town has. So, not to mention that even though Stewartsville is named after Thomas Stewart, we don't have anything in the town that commemorates anything about Thomas Stewart. So we were thinking it would be a good location for some kind of a monument. So I'd like to make a motion to name the new park the Thomas Stewart Park. I make a motion.
Municipal Park, I don't know.
Well, it doesn't have to be this. I mean,
You make the motion?
yeah, I need the motion, Thomas Stewart Park.
I'll second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Adams?
Yes.
Kenya?
Yes.
Park?
Yes,
Marson?
Yes.
Spencer?
Yes.
thank you. That brings me to the sewer referendum, which we've discussed in previous meetings. Oh, yeah, we're lost in the queue, sorry. Thanks, Ross.
What tab there?
We're at tab 3. There's a memorandum and the actual ordinance itself, 2016-04. So, as I stated in previous meetings, I did want to pursue a referendum. It's a non-binding referendum, just to find out the opinion of the residents of our town. I guess at this point, should I ask for a motion, or should I read the actual wording?
You could say, what is the thing, read the title, and then ask for a motion to introduce.
All right.
Just the bold part.
Okay. I'd like a motion to introduce ordinance 2016-04, an ordinance authorizing the submission of a question to the voters of the Township of Greenwich at the next general election concerning whether to pursue extending public sewer to a portion of the village of Stewartsville.
We have a motion?
I'll make it. A second.
Discussion?
Yeah. I got a little discussion. I think the 2.4 million, the bottom line is, at the previous meeting, if I recall, we did not allow or permit the engineer or, Brent, I think it was you, Mike, the engineer, to investigate the USDA funding sources, whether or not we'd be able to participate in that. From my understanding, after I asked the question at the presentation, Frank, that you brought in, it was my understanding that it was a significant cost savings. And I think going out there without that analysis being complete and showing this dollar amount, especially the fact that it's absent of a funding source, I think is basically pulling the wool over people's eyes. I mean, I read this, no one's going to approve this. We all know that. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. I don't, if this is the path you want to go down, I would just say simply, let's just forget
So do you want to include in here that we're taking $400,000 from the sewer fund? Because you're talking about funding.
Yeah. What do you mean we're taking $400,000?
Well, the whole project was based on $400,000 deposit out of the sewer trust fund.
And, all right, so at the end of the day, net, where does that leave new ratepayers and existing ratepayers? From my understanding, the new ratepayers would be financing a portion of this to bring them up to an equal level with existing ratepayers. And that's kind of how you extend a sewer, okay? It's clearly not fair that group number 1 funds everything, and then group 2 comes on and only funds a portion of it. Eventually, I was told from Attorney Carney, it was designed to bring those people up to speed with the rest.
No.
That's how I understand it.
No, the plan was the deposit, 400,000 comes out of the sewer trust fund. That offsets the dollar amount for the bonding. I don't want to get into, we purposely left out, because we could go on and on about the funding. We could say, you might want to take money out of here, somebody may want to take money from another source.
I thought
We purposely looked at the Hopewell Township sewer referendum, which was very generic, and we based it off of that. This is much more specific than even what Hopewell has done.
As I recall, Hopewell was a very different situation, okay? We own the capacity. In Hopewell, that wasn't the case. Here, we do not need, as the attorney advised.
We don't own, to correct you, we don't own the capacity.
We do not need to purchase this capacity.
Yes, we do.
From Phillipsburg.
Yes, we do.
No, we do not.
Mike, do we need
Capacity's
to,
allocated, it's not purchased.
Mike, do we need to purchase the capacity for the project? I know we do,
Yes,
because you gave me the
yes,
number.
Yes, but it's not from Phillipsburg, it's from ourselves.
It's from ourselves.
It's from our bank. I mean, just because the Phillipsburg word got thrown in there, it's not from Phillipsburg. It's, we have to secure capacity from prior sewer users.
It's not from ourselves, though. That's a little misleading right there. We have to buy it from other entities that own the rights to it right now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's
So
not,
we don't own
it's
it.
not Phillipsburg, that's my point.
Yeah, we don't own the capacity. Absolutely not true. We have to purchase the capacity.
But we're not purchasing it from another township. In the case of Hopewell, that's what was going on.
That doesn't matter. I'll let you finish. Go ahead.
You know, I think not having Brent here, who's the author of this document, and who can help get us through this conversation, perhaps we should have kept Brent in the room. But I know for a fact that the 2.4 million is not the right number. Would you agree with that?
No.
Okay. And
How do you know that for a fact?
because we haven't completed our due diligence.
All right,
with the
so you
finance.
don't know for a fact that it's not the right number, because you don't even know if Mike could get a grant. So you don't know for a fact that it's not the right number.
I know that it's overstating it. And
I also know
I know
for-
more importantly, that the intent of this is to get a no vote.
I also know for a fact that the whole basis of this project was based on the town committee taking $400,000 from the sewer trust fund, which is overpayments by people in that sewer area. We've already gone down this road. We've argued these points back and forth.
And the
So-
concept was to have the new ratepayers pick up the tab. That was the end result.
That's not the concept.
In my mind from the last meeting, was determining the funding,
No, not,
sources for this, and it was
no, that
determined to be
includes the
self-funded.
includes the 400,000.
Add that to it.
It's in there. Anyway,
Okay.
one other thing I might want to add, since we talked about Hopewell. Hopewell was forced to do the referendum by petition by residents. It is my firm belief that if we don't do a referendum, that the residents will petition us to do it. So that petition won't come until we're ready to bond. Do we want to go down a road of expending all this dollar amounts to continue this project, not knowing whether or not the residents are going to hit us with a petition to go down and do the project? I think it would be a bad idea to even go any further at any expenditure. I think we're gonna be forced to do a petition anyway, in my opinion. So I just think this is the right move right now, so that we don't spend any more money. And I'll just leave it at that.
I'm good.
Bob?
Adams?
No.
Kenneth?
Yes.
Marqueta?
Yes.
Yes. So this will be on the June 16th meeting for public discussion. Correct, Ken? Yes.
And it's ordinance 2016-04, is that right?
That's all for me? Oh, we bring more back?
Yep.
Again, let's right back on,
You're the one holding us up, Michael.
No pressure.
well, we have to wait for the mayor and
No, Bob can still
council
conduct.
Where's Will?
Right.
You can start.
Can you add in yours, approval for the
Oh,
For the,
okay.
That's something. I
Where we at?
the fees.
I forget.
$250 was the fee.
250 was the fee.
Alright, we're on, engineer report?
Yes. that's-
Engineer report.
Thank you. Well, let's follow up on Kim's request from just 15 seconds ago regarding, the township hiring, the Musconetcong Watershed Association for purposes of, assisting us with our stormwater compliance. Part of what they do is they will come to a meeting every year, give a little seminar. They also, obviously, there are functions, there are other educational opportunities that they offer. They do it to a lot of other municipalities that have frontage on the Musconetcong, which of course we have a significant amount of river frontage. I know Kim, we had recommended it, Kim had solicited the quote, and I guess the quote had come in, just the other day, right, Kim?
Right. No, well, my
For-
cousin Gene,
Yeah.
he had recommended that I contact them. As we are Terre, we have to have
10 points.
It's really hard for me to get 10
10
points.
points are
So,
tough.
there's a lot of work with this, and he said that this organization does this. As you can see from point schedule, what they do to gather the points.
So it's $250 a year?
Yes.
You need a motion on that?
Yeah.
Made motion to, do the municipal membership to the Musconetcong Watershed Association for 2016. Second.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
For the rate of $250.
$250 a year. Discussion, roll call?
Adams?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
McKenna?
Yes.
Marson?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. All right, now to my report. Okay, item number 2 is the roadway, evaluation and improvement assessment, which we've talked about for the past number of months. And it's my understanding that, and I was really pleased to hear this, from Kathleen a week or so back, that we had the 209 from last year, and you guys actually gave me the approval last month to proceed with the 2016 program using the 209. You've been able to budget and allocate another 250. So now we're at basically 459, let's say 460, round numbers, which really will put us somewhat back on track per, wrong drawing, it's around here somewhere, it used to be behind me.
It's back there.
Yeah. So, I've spoken with Kathleen, I've spoken with Joe Mexi. We're in the process of re-evaluating the prioritization of which roads to resurface. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
So,
What was scheduled for,
Okay.
last year?
basically, last year, the roads that were scheduled were, in essence, the roads in Kennedy Mills, which were Greens Ridge and Stones Crossing, and then Standish Place. Okay. The roads that were scheduled for this year, 2016, per, again, last year's program, was Fox Run, New Village, and Williver Way. Now, there's a little X factor in this, and that is Birch Lane, with Forest Ridge development, which is maybe the worst road of all the roads in the township. That's why that was actually separated as almost a separate project. If you can see it, we called it out as a 2016 or 2017 program. So, what we are evaluating right now, and we just talked to Joe today at some length about it, is maybe putting Birch Lane in this year's program with this $459,000 we have, and also being able to do the Kennedy Mills roads and Birch Lane, in fact. We think, right now, we did a couple takeoffs, that we definitely can get done Greens Ridge Road, Stones Crossing, which is Kennedy Mills, Standish Place, which is the old Wood Docks, probably whatever, however you know it, Greenfields at Greenwich, and Birch Lane. That's absolutely doable. We may even be able to include some of Bradford Lane, which is, or Williver Way, which is again Stewart's Hunt and Greenwich Hills respectively. That may not, we might not have enough money to include those. So here's what my suggestion would be, is, I mean, last month you authorized us to get started using the 209. The 2016 budget, assuming it passes next month, will basically have 459 in there, and we should be prepared to present a proposal to you guys at next month's meeting for your blessing for us to go out to bid. So that's generally where we're at, and it's my feeling, as Frank commented about the park, I think people start seeing us paving a bunch of these roads, they'll be darn pleased about that as well. So, everybody's going to want their own road paved, but hey, we know how it works. And also, just this is an important factor when you're looking at this map, and you're wondering maybe why let's use the pace setter roads, just as an example. The pace setter roads probably would be at the top of the list from a need to resurface standpoint, but they're out of this program because of the water main extension, and because they will be, yeah, exactly. So, just a passing comment.
Did we ever get conclusion from, I can't remember who it was that you and I were meeting with?
The EPA?
Yeah, as to what they would leave us with?
No, that is still,
we need to revisit that.
Well,
if that's not on your list,
oh, sure, it's definitely on my list.
because they're going to leave us with half a road.
At the end of item number 5 in my report is directly on point with that, okay, which might be the next item in my report.
So you're going to come in with bids next regular meeting. You're going to come in with a proposal to go out for bid.
Yeah, I'm going to come in with a proposal. Actually, Donna Becker from our office, who was very involved with this, is meeting with Joe next Wednesday, for them to kind of come up with the 2016 program to bring to you guys next month for authorization to go out to bid. That's the plan. Okay. All right. The OU2 project. Item 5 in my report. It's been very quiet. We haven't heard anything. We reached out for Teresa Wilka, who is the EPA coordinator on this project. If you go to the bottom of page 3 in my report, item number 5, there's a quote from her taken right out of an email, basically that everything's still moving forward, that the 95% complete plans are due to be published in January 2017. So, the project's obviously still moving forward, and if we're lucky, it might start in 2017. I wouldn't hold your breath, the way, but it is moving forward. So, all right. Okay. The dump truck, we already took action. The last item I have...
Emergency generator grant?
Well, there's really nothing. We awarded the contract last month, so now we're just coordinating with the contractor that's Power with Prestige. Attorney Lavery sent a contract out the other day for them to execute. So, and Joe Mexi's kind of working with them on that. So that is moving along, but there's no action was taken care of at last month's meeting. Okay.
So that's it. I just have the contract right there. It's okay for what we signed.
Oh, sure. Good.
So you guys want to make a motion authorizing the contract?
And a motion authorizing the mayor to sign the contract for power with Prestige. And the awarding of the emergency generator contract, or grant contract.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Give it
Discussion, roll call.
Adams?
Yes.
Danielle?
Yes.
Dennis?
Yes.
Marcy?
Yes.
Swenson?
Yes.
Okay. And last item I have, which is item 12 on our report, and that's the old school and the RFQ. If you recall, a few months back, you gave us the green light to put it together. We gave you a copy last month. It's a pretty basic document. It asks for qualifications and a plan, so to speak, of what someone might want to do with the building. It would give us an opportunity to evaluate potential candidates, you want to use that word, to potentially go under contract with for the rehabilitation and renovation of the old school. And as previously directed and as included in the RFQ, it's as is. That's the catch. They want the building, they take it as is. So, if certainly answer any questions, otherwise, we can just authorize, my office work with Kim, put it out the bid. Well, not the bid per se, but put it in, publish it in the paper, website, etc. Try and get some candidates in.
And the high-level restrictions, what was the right wording, Michael, that you got to keep the facade, or that kind of language? Where is that?
Okay, I would say, Jim, if you go to the proposal section, if you flip to the back page, the following page, in determining which proposal to select the following criteria,
Okay.
blah, 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 and it kind of talks about that.
Responsiveness to community needs, positive economic tax bases,
Compatibility,
to surrounding neighborhood, and how it addresses traffic, vehicular, pedestrian circulation, and parking. All right. And anything that comes in, we have the ability, we can just turn everybody away, or
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, nothing's binding.
nothing is binding.
no, this is, again, this is a request for qualifications. You're trying to solicit the right guy or the right company
Or gal.
or gal, I said that, I know, sorry.
I knew you were going down there.
That has a plan for the conversion of that building to whatever. There's been a lot of ideas thrown around that you endorse, you support, and that you want to basically enter into a contract with this, company, individual, to let them do their thing with the old school.
So you need a motion?
Motion
Yes.
to authorize?
The motion.
Motion to authorize, I'll make the motion to authorize Engineer Finelli to publish the
And
request
also,
for qualifications.
solicit as much interest as we can through whatever means we can. And again, I think this is, last comment on this, this is gonna have to stay out the bid a little longer. Typically, we can turn these things around, they're out for 10 days. This probably should be out there for a good month or more, for people to find it, for people to hear about it. The submission requirements are gonna take some time. If you're really serious about getting somebody good in, you shouldn't want this rushed.
Where does it get advertised?
No,
Star Ledger and Express Times?
no, I probably wouldn't do, well, I would do the Ledger, just
Yeah.
because of
The circulation.
exactly the township website.
Are there other avenues to advertise in which we're going to get to the developer type community?
Well, probably make some calls, maybe even Mike might even have an idea. I mean, I don't know if like the league municipalities, is there,
Like I said, does their website ever let you buy space on there?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah. The magazine.
So basically, you can use your connection.
yeah, no, this isn't like a bid. This is very different. The rules of the game are very different. I mean, we can reach out and try to, stimulate interest. Yeah,
There's interest in town, I hope it's still there. I hope it's realistic. Yeah, it was a real long motion there. Motion to authorize, Engineer Finelli to, publish the request for qualifications for redevelopment of the old Greenwich School.
Second.
Okay. Second. Discussion, roll call.
Yes.
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 Yeah, this goes well, the result would be scheduling of a couple interviews with some firms down in a couple months from now, basically, that, say you get 2 or 3 proposals and that really look appealing and interesting, just sit them down and see what they got to say. This isn't a low bid item, this is, you're trying to sell a building and have it renovated, so this is very different. Okay, that, is all I have for the evening, thank you.
Mr. Attorney?
No report. The client's money been a heavy lifting, it's being done really by the city attorney, Frank Carney, Tim Piper, and John Joe has to go over the state.
Thank you.
Any other public comment?
I'll make a motion to open it up to public comment.
Second.
Aye.
You spend around 3 minutes to ensure completion of the agenda items for public comment. Does anybody wish to make public comment? Gary?
Good evening, Gary Hill, 529 North Main Street, Sewersville. Mr. Finelli, can you remind me the number of houses that will be affected or potential to benefit from the sewer going in downtown Sewersville? Was it
132.
132?
That's correct.
I'm just thinking here about a referendum, the likelihood of that ever being approved.
It's not binding.
I mean, if we had every single person from those houses come out and vote, maybe 2 per house, we can get 260-some votes. Okay, that's 3 houses, 3 streets over in, developments where obviously to come out in influx to say, no, you're taking our funding. So I wonder if we're just wasting money with referendum. It just seems a little weird. The other thing goes back to township minutes. Any particular reason why we're not posting township minutes on the website? They haven't been there since August of 2015.
I don't know, I can see that. I'll check.
Okay. I mean, because it takes a while for certain ones to get approved, but it just seems a little odd that
Yeah, because these have been approved.
Yeah. Check with the webmaster.
And only because I brought it up last time, and I was noticing, I don't know if anybody else noticed it in the meeting, but to check your recording because the speakers are turning off intermittently throughout the meeting tonight, so I'm not sure if it's not picking up on the recordings. I can hear it on the speakers now, but one of them to look at is when the engineer first started talking in the beginning of the report. The speakers turned off, so that would be a point to look for.
Yeah, I pick up on all of that, Gary, and I think,
It might be pushing out into the room, but it's coming up on the screen.
There are times in the meetings tonight where you clearly the speakers turned off.
yeah, I know there was an issue with the microphone. Can we have, who is it, Jewel, or, yeah, we'll bring them back.
Yeah, now they just turned back on again.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. We'll have somebody look into that,
Some-
definitely, Gary.
Thank you. Well, just real quick, can I respond? Just on his one question. Just to let you know, the referendum doesn't only state the 132 homes. It states the middle school, municipal building, firehouse. Just to let you know, it's not just about the 132 homes, so just want to be clear about that.
Anybody else for open public comment?
Good evening, Warren Scuderi, 310 Thomas Cortlandt Drive, Stewartsville. Just a question on the old school. To put it out to bid, is there going to be access to the public where we can go take a look and see what's going on there? And I think we're putting the cart before the horse a little bit because you have an unknown sewer project which would greatly affect the highest and best use for this building. Essentially, you're in a residential area, maybe a little bit next to a farm area. The sewer's going to have a huge effect on it. If you're going to put sewers in the street, it's going to really, decrease the value of the property. So if we're looking to put something out to bid without knowing if we're going to have sewer on the street, that could be a big negative impact to the overall value of the building. So we should
Yeah.
Charles Sonic, 103 Bradford Lane. In regard to the proposal for the stores, is that going to be paid for by all the taxpayers in the county, township?
The funding, yeah, nobody's decided on how it's gonna be funded as of now. But
So all your...
if it was up to me, I would say everybody in the town should pay for it, but that's just
The reason
my
I
thing.
asked that, I know a project was just done in Hillsborough, and just the people that were affected paid for it. It cost them about $30,000 each house. Because they didn't think it was fair for everyone to pay for a certain area. Because then you say, well, why not everyone get sewers in the township then? Why should it just be a certain section? I don't want to be killjoy, but in regard to the municipal park, there aren't any minutes, like, I don't know where to get the information from anymore. Newspaper, no one's here to report it, so I don't know half the time what's going on in the township unless I come here. But I was surprised to see that we have almost $1 million in funds, that I thought the resolution was meant to buy land to preserve it. I didn't know that money
No,
was
I can respond to that.
available to build a park.
Yeah, I can respond to that, because I had a copy of the resolution. Resolution actually says to preserve or develop, to be used for recreational purposes. So that's what the actual resolution says.
Okay, I just wanted to mention that because, our taxes, as you know, are going up all the time. And I hear a lot going on here, and I think it's gonna cost us more money down there. And I hear everybody saying yes to everything. But I think we should stop to think of where we're spending our money. And can we cut it back, some of the spending? I used to have some big budgets when I worked. And the first thing they said to me was, look at that budget and reduce it 20%. Start it, across the board. I wonder if we ever do that in government, municipal. Private sector, they do. In our schools, taxes are going up there all the time. And I'm wondering when someone's going to start to look at how the schools are being funded in New Jersey. Where does it start? Does it start with municipalities maybe complaining a little bit and saying, hey, it's not fair for these people that haven't had children in school for 40 or 50 years. You keep paying the same thing everyone else does. Or the single people, or the people without children. And I don't know, we don't look at things like that. And, well, anyway, I'll leave it at that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie.
Lillian McBurney, 707 Warrington Road, Queensbury, New Jersey. That in reference to the old school. Why don't we make that the police station? Why don't we invest in it, make it a better building, and move our police department instead of having it downstairs in the trailers? It's our police department that works for us. Why don't we give them a better ability to work with it?
It's gonna cost a lot of money.
I'm sure it is, but we find the money for everything else.
You're not gonna find money for that.
Just a thought.
Anybody else for public comment? Motion to close public comment?
Motion.
Second. Aye.
Discussion, roll call?
Is that for adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
We discuss it?
All in favor?
Yay. Yes.
One not for discussion.
Mike,
Yes, sir.
what's that for me? Scheduled thank you for support.
Okay.
I know you.
Where is that?
Hi,
Hold on.
I know.